Hello math lovers and welcome back to Solve Share. So have you ever wondered how to simplify a massive square root like this one I've shown on the board? But the twist is without using a calculator. This sounds impossible, right? But well, in this video I am going to break it down step by step and I'll show you every single detail so you'll understand exactly how this whole thing works. And trust me, there's a twist in the middle that makes it much easier than it looks. So stay tuned till the very end. So let's dive straight into it. We're simplifying today under root 999800001 without using a calculator. And now, at the first glance, this number looks massive and intimidating, literally. But don't worry, we're going to break it down in a way that is very easy to follow. So just stick with me, okay? Now, number one is to understand the problem. The first thing we notice that here is our number here, 9998001. This number is basically very close to 10 raised to the power of 8. And this thing is basically equals to 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 and 0. Now let me just make sure I've done it correctly. 2 4 6 and 8. Now that's perfect. Okay, so our number is very close to this value of 10 raised to power of 8. This just gives us a clue that this number might be related to something like also there's a multiple 10 raised to power of 4, which is basically 10,000. Okay, now these two things are very connected and linked to this equation, to this solution, which will make things very easier for us. Okay, so instead of dealing with this giant number, let's rewrite it. So watch closely and I will do step number 2. Now you know that this number 999800001, this is equals to 10 raised to power of 8, which is basically 10 raised to power of 8 minus 19999. Now how do I know that? You see, this is a perfect number till here. Let me just make it sure. Yes, and we've just added 1 in the last. Okay, and if we subtract 1 from 20,000 and subtract the whole thing from 10 raised to power of 8, we'll get the same number as this. Okay, I hope everything is clear till now. This step is the key because it transforms the problem into a form that we can work with. Okay, by expressing it as 10 raised to power of 8 minus 19999, we're setting up for the next steps. Now let's move on to step number 3. So in step number 3, we're recognizing a pattern. This is the point where the thing get interesting. Okay, notice how this resembles something you've probably seen before in algebra. We can rewrite 10 raised to power of 8 minus 19999 into a square of binomial. But first, the main thing, we have to focus on something that is here. Let me just break it down as I told you previously. I said that if we have 20,000, which is basically 2 into 10 raised to power of 4. Okay, if you multiply this whole thing by 1 and then subtract 1 from this, we'll get the same number as 19999. This was the thing I was talking about previously. Okay, and 10 raised to power of 4 can also be written as 10 raised to power of 8 can also be written as 10 raised to power of 4 and its square. Okay, just let me make it clear, because here's a property of algebra that I've used, and that is basically a into m into n. This is equals to a m into n. Okay, so this is the property of indices that I have used here, and I hope we all are familiar with this one. Now I have simplified this whole thing into a chunk like this, and now I would remind you of a property of binomial, and that is, let me just rewrite it, that is a square minus 2ab plus b square. Now step 4 is to apply this identity into the equation. Now here's the twist, using that identity makes our job so much easier. In this case, we have 10 raised to power of 4, that is our a, minus 2ab, this is 2, this is a and this is b, and negative 1 whole thing squared is equals to positive 1. So our equation eventually becomes 10 raised to power of 4 minus 1 the whole thing squared. I hope everything is clear till this point, because this has made our equation very very simpler as we were solving it previously. Okay, 10 raised to power of 4 minus 1 the whole thing squared. If you are still unclear, I've made some videos of completing the square form and something like that previously in my videos, so I highly recommend you to watch that videos. Okay, here this was our 2 from the identity. A was 10 raised to power of 4 as I told you previously, and B was 1. Okay, and as we take the square of -1, it eventually comes out to be +1. So this is 10 raised to power of 4 minus 1 the whole thing squared. And now to make it very very much more simpler, let me just take the square root of this whole thing. When I take the square root of 10 raised to power minus 4, 10 raised to power 4 minus 1 the whole thing squared, square root, the square root gets eventually cancelled by the square. And now the thing which I am only left with, that is 10 raised to power of 4 minus 1. I hope you understand how all of these things were being connected. Okay, it was a tough job to connect all of these, but I am explaining it in detail step by step so that you get the hook of everything that I am doing. Now 10 raised to power of 4 minus 1, this becomes 10,000 minus 1, and now this is equals to 9999. Now this thing is our answer, and eventually we have reached to our answer, that is 9999. And when you square 9999, then you get triple nine eight triple zero one. And that's it. So the square root, we found out that. You see how simple it became when we broke it down step by step. Now here's my question for you: would you have guessed this solution without these steps? Let me know in the comments if you followed along or got stuck at any step. And if you want to see more videos like this where we tackle big problems step by step, then hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.